Good evening, everyone. I hope everybody is keeping safe and well. We've started our third official wave of pandemic. So, leaving that aside, I'm pretty excited about today's webinar. This is the last of our series of marketing strategies for buying agents. And Gagan is going to enlighten us a little more about something that is very dear to all our hearts, which is customer service. We all belong to the service industry. I mean, there is nothing if we can't offer that oomph or that exaggerated service that the customer actually expects out of us. We are totally based on offering services to our customers. So that is what we are going to be discussing today. But before we get on to that, I would definitely invite Sonal to say a few words, introduce himself. And firstly, thanks to him for giving that opportunity between the connection of Sorex and BAA. So thank you, Sonal, for that. And I'd invite you to please come up and share some thoughts.
Thank you so much once again, Anshul, for giving us the opportunity to present Sotex Connect and a series of our industry consultants, which we have got on board as part of the community building initiative. We thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. And we, as a part of the community and a digital community that we're bringing it up, it's just a small initiative that not only the community, which is a mix of buyers, manufacturers, and suppliers come together, but also our buying agents who are the bridge between the buyers from overseas and in India to learn what is happening across and what is the best way to know directly from the experts. All as a platform, what we're doing is we're bringing all these experts together. And through these series of initiatives, we're just ensuring that this information is available to everyone and is been imparted at a regular interval. I just want to give one extended invite to everyone who is part of the room. There is a very interesting initiative that we are starting as part of the autumn-winter 22-23 collections. We are doing a road show in Bangalore, followed by Noida and in Bombay. This is a road show which is going to cover 10 mills and trims suppliers who are the manufacturers and exporters. This is an event which is a physical event over wine and cheese where you can come, interact, understand what are the new concepts of fabrics, trims, accessories which are coming at getting developed within India, more from the sustainability side, from recycled products and the new fibers that we are introducing as part of the initiative. So we will send an invite to Anshul, and Anshul, we would just expect you to just share it with your team members. And we look forward to have BAA as part of the fraternity in that particular session. So with this, I would like to thank you once again for giving us the opportunity. And I leave the rest to be taken up between you and Gagan. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you, Sonal. The wine and cheese definitely sounds interesting. So we'd all like ears and, all senses are heightened at this moment. And it is time for wine and cheese, nearing that time of wine and cheese right now. So thank you. We look forward to getting your invite for sure. Moving on, and as for our agenda of today, before I give the mic over to the man of our day, I would like to introduce Gagan very formally. I'm sure most of us here are coming back because we've already seen Gagan on screen and we know what magic he spins, but we'll still formally introduce him. So Gagan is a founder for Go for Growth Consulting, which focuses on building marketing strategies for organizations and market success trainings. He's also a lead consultant at Sotex, which is why he's here with us today, and is heading Sotex Connect initiative at Sotex. Over the past 11 years, he has helped more than 340 companies build strategies and has trained more than 39,000 entrepreneurs. A fitness freak and an avid reader, with keen interest in space science and passion for trainings, Gagan now has dedicated his full time to marketing more fruitfully for business owners. Gagan, I'd like you to now come up and share what you have in store for us today.
All right. Thank you so much, Achal, for this introduction. And thank you again, Sonal, for bringing this all together, both of you, Achal and Sonal. And today we are incidentally on our fifth session. And I would like to start this session with wishing you all a very, very happy new year. And yes, the new year has come along with the third wave. So I would also request you to please be safe, be indoors, and other waves have passed, and so shall this be. So just hold tight, I would say. And with this, I would like to start talking about, and I would like to share my screen and discuss about our session for today, which is what we call it as importance of customer service for buying agents. Anshul, just confirm if you see a single screen for me. Yeah, do you see a single screen? Wonderful. Thank you so much. All right. So let's go ahead. And before I actually tell you more things about it, important for me is that you can keep your phones onto the silent mode. Buying agents are all about customer service. So I'm sure this is some bit you would want to just see. I don't expect any trainer doesn't expect that you would take tons of ideas from this particular training. I'm sure many of you are already doing a lot of things, but even if you are able to take just one new thing which you can do within your team with your customers, I think our work is done here. That is what we expect. So for 1 hour you can actually dedicate your time to this. Second, be with me on the chat box. I would always want that some of you could just keep telling that if you do this, just say I am doing this. It'll really give me an idea that a lot of people are already kind of doing this part of service and that service and all that. So which is really, really wonderful. And along with that, I always believe that you need to keep a notebook along with you. That's something which is very, very important. I know that you're going to get a lot of ideas. And I recently read something, and I would like to quote that. There is a quote which I read about noting, by the way. Okay, the quote says, "The tragedy is not the lesson you missed learning. The tragedy is not the lesson you missed learning, but the learning opportunities you missed noting." Okay, so I would suggest that if you keep a notebook along with you, any idea which comes to your mind, yes, I can implement this, just note it down and then discuss it within your team. That should be the idea. So let's now have a flag off and talk about the agenda for today. So we will start about talking with how do you really build customer service excellence. This is going to be, of course, our main session, followed by why you should know your customers' preferences. I'm sure a lot of you already do that, but let's get to talk more about why you should know your customers' preferences, how to empower your team members, your employees, to be accountable for customer service. Now, that's very, very important. And along with that, how the phrase "I care," yes, caring is all about, customer service is all about caring. So we will literally break down each and every letter of "I care," right, and see what is in store for us as buying agents, and how we, using this phrase, we can change the way customers look at us. Okay, then what are the two kinds of customers we need to impress? Now, I'm going to ask you this question very, very soon, and you'll be ready on the chat box with me to answer this question, and how to make your service stand out. Along with that, we will talk about some of the great examples of customer service. I will take some of the examples from general businesses, but of course, you will see that how you will automatically be able to relate to it with your businesses, and we will talk about it. And of course, post the session, we will keep it live, open for a few more minutes. In case you have any questions, doubts, or any observations or any realizations, feel free to discuss that. So let's get going with this session. And of course, as I always want to do, I would want to know how many of you are excited to attend this. Now that you've seen the agenda, do you think, if you think that this is going to be exciting, type in E. Don't really need to type in too much. Just type in E for me in the chat box, E for exciting. And I know that you all are there. I can see a lot of E's coming in. Thank you so much. Thank you. So let's get going and talk about customer service. And, it all starts with a phrase. We've all heard this. We say, customer is always right. Haven't we heard that, right? All of us say customer is always right. But let me tell you, this is just the start. There is a lot more to customer service than it. So let's get going and deep dive into customer service. And frankly, what has happened these days is that the entire strategies these days are based on service these days. Frankly, the people who have been offering products, and I know that with buying agents, this is a very, very nice combination of having a huge product portfolio and service at the core of its strategy. So we have that, and we know that we have a big list of products, but the differentiator in who is going to do better with the buyers is actually the service. Everybody, each one of us buying agents could actually be doing or selling the same kind of products. Okay, you may actually have similar vendors per se. Okay, but it is the service which makes a differentiator. It is a service with similar kind of products. Somebody is charging a premium and somebody is still on the pricing game. It matters quite a bit, and we will learn why and how service is actually a source of extra business for you. That is what we are going to talk about. Okay, so chat box, fingers on the chat box ready. I wish to know from you, and I know buying agents know this already. What do you think? One word, and one word has a lot of power. Okay, one word. What is a great service? I don't want sentences, just one word. What is a great service? Let's get to see our thoughts behind it. Okay, think about it. Communication. All right. Quality. Proactive. Interesting. I see it is for everyone. It is the first top of the mind is very, very different. Satisfaction. All right. Shalini says. Achal says proactive. Customer satisfaction. Okay. Mahesh Kumar says, all right. Good. So some more thoughts. All right. Sincerity. All right. Best pricing with quality. Interesting. Many of you are right. Service these days, right? It starts with a great behavior, right? At times when they come, it is all about a wonderful surrounding, right? It is about giving them comfort in whatever environment you are interacting with them, even if it is Zoom for that matter. It is about the environment and the comfort. And of course, we are talking about sincerity, satisfaction, and overall, all of this, it is all about a great delivery experience, right? And along with that, the first and the most basis of it is that whatever we are doing now, we used to talk about meeting customer expectations. We all know now meeting doesn't work, right? It's always exceeding the expectations far beyond what they expected. Unfortunately, the market is like that. People are expecting much, but you have to deliver in expectations even more, right? And that is what is making so much of a difference. So let's talk about the 4 pillars of customer service, what we all need to look at, and we will then talk about how we use each and every element of these pillars. Pillar number 1, which at every single thing about our business, about our value proposition, about our customer service starts from this one, which is, do you really understand your customers or not? How much of an effort you want to put or you put into understanding your customers? We'll get to know more about it, right? The second bit is you've understood them, but what is your benchmark for giving them the highest quality service? We'll even talk more about it. Then to talk about this, what are our delivery systems? What are our employees talking? What are our processes? What kind of systems are there? And are we integrating? The 4th pillar is these 3 pillars cannot go in silos. They have to come together. Are you integrating the entire experience? Is something which is very, very critical. Okay, so these are the 4 pillars what we will be talking about today, and each one of them will actually get into a bit more. Okay, but I want to now ask this question. I asked you this question at the time of the agenda. Okay, what are the 2 kinds of customers to take care in our business? Okay, thoughts 1 and 2, type in. You put 1 and then comma and another one, do that, doesn't matter, but type in what are the 2 kinds of customers we have in our business. Happy customers and tough customers, Anshul says. All right, interesting. Okay, I would like to have some more thoughts from people, right? I know people are thinking this is a trick question. This is not a trick question, but this is a question which demanding and understanding. Interesting. Now that's good. All right, demanding and understanding. All right, okay. What else? What else? One more. I'll go for one more before I actually go ahead. Price conscious customers. Okay, Sakshi says price conscious customers. Interesting. All right. I haven't yet got my answer, so I will see if somebody can, until and unless they start Googling, and try and see what kind of customers are there. But I still see that I should be able to get one more. Do I get one more? No? All right. Okay, never mind. I'm going to go and talk about the two kinds of customers. Individuals and organization. Achal has given one more thought to it. All right. Okay, so let me tell you. There are two kinds of customers. The first one we all know. The first one every one of us spoke about. But the second one we haven't. Okay. Now there are two kinds of customers. Number one, the internal customers, and the number two, the external customers. Very, very simple. It could be as simple as that. Yes, our internal customers are literally our team members, our employees, and nothing starts. And why I want to talk about the team members, because you cannot deliver a great service till the time these set of people are with you and aligned with you, right? So your relationship with your employees makes a lot of difference in what kind of service you will have. If they feel valued, they will enjoy coming back to work, and they will share that positive attitude with the customers. And that is precisely the reason why I am talking about your employees first before than your customers, right? And for that matter, you need to have these employee satisfaction surveys and see what kind of things you do to engage these people, to really let them feel that they really feel valued. Then they will start value, right? Once the internal employees are taken care, now it is the turn to go out and talk about our customers, right? External customers. Now, these are all set of people and all the qualities which you mentioned, all the requirements and the kind of customers you will have. Now, there is, I have actually another whole 1 hour workshop on what kind of customers we have, but that's a very big topic, not for today. But what we want to talk about is from you and from these employees, you will now get into a legendary customer service. Now, that's something which is very, very important. So consistent and smooth that customers come back to you every single time. That's what is the agenda. And we all know already, and many of us would have already gone through it, that if you neglect a great customer service, remember, see the word great, the adjective which I've used. Why I've used that? Because neglecting service is no word these days. There is no such thing as service. We are only talking about great service can have dire consequences. And these days, it is all about actually being extraordinary, right? It is not about just as a good service. It is extraordinary service we are talking about. So having understood this concept of the customers, let's get to this phrase. I told you about this phrase called I care, okay? And you actually want to tell these customers every time you meet, or the prospects who are yet to become your customers, on that I care about you, and we will take care about each and everything. But what does that really mean? So let's break this I care down and see what all it has to do with our business. The first one, the I of I care, is ideal service. Okay. Now, when I say ideal service, the question which I want to ask you is, in your terminology, in your business terminology, what is the benchmark for you? What is the ideal service? Have you discussed with your team what it means to have an ideal service? Okay, which means having a response rate of within 10 hours is an ideal service for you, or 100% or a 0% no return is an ideal service for you, or so there could be various things which could be the benchmarks. And these benchmarks are not specific. There is not a written manual which says this is your benchmark for ideal service. Each one of us have to create and think about these benchmarks, that what it means for me to that my customer feels valued when this kind of service is delivered. And why I'm talking about this, because this benchmark your team members should know day in and day out, and their KRAs have to be linked to this benchmark. That if this benchmark is not achieved, which means you are not up to your performance when it comes to the customers. Very critical when it comes. So define your benchmark. That's something which is very important. Number two in ideal services, what you need to do to successfully meet customer needs every day. Service is an everyday business. It is not that it will come after every 15 days, right? Even if you need to pre-inform a customer that one shipment is about to reach or the samples have been sent and all that, right? It is not something that you can just take for granted. So you need to make sure that you are successfully meeting customers' needs every single day. That is what an ideal service is. Number three, of course, defining this requires a ton of work. And I would say this particular workshop has come at the best time. It's the start of the year, right? It could be the time where you could define your standards of customer service, right? I think you already have some bit of a time with COVID coming in. You may have some free time. So define, allocate, or even if you don't have time, free time, doesn't matter. Allocate 2 hours in the next week and see if you can sit with your team to define what it means to have a customer service for us, right? Because your customers need to see that they are treated in a very special way and make them feel how much you care about their needs and concerns. But for that, what you need is you need to understand their challenges really, really well. It all starts from there and will come about when we talk about the customers, right? Number four, small details in settings actually matter quite a bit, right? A thank you note or a call from a senior when somebody, a junior did something, or if you are doing okay, now the COVID is going forward, or is everything working with your business and all that, or we did something for you, is everything all right? Smaller details, smaller things also make a difference apart from the bigger things. You need to connect with your customers personally is what I would like to say, right? And when it comes to ideal service, and I know that as buying agents, you have a lot of processes. I know that there is a series of processes which you go through. Are these processes easy to use, easy to connect with, or these processes are too complex for the people to understand, right? The complexity should not get into the way of taking action. Now, that is something which is very, very important for us. So define your processes which are easy to use for our customers. So whether you are waiting for a callback, or somebody could be just calling some people, or you could just simply leave a message that call back and call. We'll send you a message or call at a specific time, and you get a call, or anything like that makes a difference. And point is that what length can you go to meet your customers' needs? When customers see this, they will appreciate that, right? Because when you make sure that they see what lengths you go to meet their needs, they shows immediate results, right? That is something what I would say is very, very important. Now, the seventh and the most important thing is you can actually do a competition amongst the team for best service. I would highly recommend that. We've had companies who have set benchmarks for customer service, who have made sure that whenever they have their KRA set, customer service is definitely taken care in that bit as a KRA, and they have the best servicing merchandiser or best servicing SPOC getting awards and all that. People feel very valued with this. Just taking some examples around this, you'll see. I'll just take an example of a store owner who remembers and appreciates every single thing about their repeat customers. I'm just taking an example of a retail shop here. Okay. I know some people, if I go to that place, they have somewhere noted down about something. They know what exactly I would need. And they would straight away say, oh, I know you need this. Just go there. Or they'll tell one of their guys to bring that bit in. Why I gave this example is because you could use that. Okay. What you could do is, even if your customers are sitting out of country, 7 seas away, right? Take a note of some of the preferences of repeat customers so that they don't have to express all of these things again. You must go and tell them that, sir, these 5 things are already taken care from your last experience. Is there any change in those 5 things? The customer feels that, you know what, half of my stuff is already taken care because you already understood me. And put that information to good use. Use a CRM. I would highly recommend, right? Just to give you an example of a hotel, right? And it's very common with 5-star hotels. You go there, they once you give a kind of an indication about the kind of pillows you use, okay, in a five-star hotel, they will note it down. And a good hotel, next time you go there, they will remember that and they will put only those pillows in it. And they will tell you that, sir, you mentioned about it's been taken care already. A smallest of the detail can actually make a lot of difference in the customer coming back to you. But the point is, are you making good use of it? Are you noting that information somewhere down? A good use is do it in a CRM. It really, really helps that matter, right? More examples if I look at, okay. Now track the orders to deliver offline or online and make sure it delivers to them safely and on time, right? At times you are sending them some shipment. How proactively you actually reach out to them, right? You don't want them to contact you, or you don't want them to follow with you that, what, where is my shipment? I was expecting this, the samples had to come in, all of that. You can do a lot of things proactively with them. Just see how you can make sure that they don't have to call to you at all. They know that, I actually know some companies who have a service manager who tells their clients every single day about what is the update and where the product is, where is the shipment, where the whole process is. They don't have to call. They say, I get a mail, I'm updated with my system. These days, people have created portals whereby you could see in my portal where I am, where the process is, where the whole thing is in the whole 90-day cycle. Where am I, right? See how you can make it more swift and smooth for your customers. That is what we need to do, because great customer service is all about actions. Just that saying that I will deliver you or I deliver you great service doesn't work. Your actions should show it. These 7 points, what I mentioned, is the ideal way you need to look at a service. So ideal service, these are the 7 ways to talk about. Okay. Once we move from ideal service, let's see the C in care actually says culture of service. So let's talk about what is the culture of service we have in our business. And when I say culture and service, right, you need to, now this is all internal. Are you bringing in a culture of service within your team, an environment focused on customer needs? Every culture is unique, so you should have your own vision and values, right? I've already said that you must set your benchmarks, and that starts with the culture. I've seen that, by the way, a lot of times a business owner, okay, they will talk to the customer in the most sweetest of the manner, and when they talk to their employees about the same customer, they will have 10 different negatives about it. You know what? Your employees, and for the customer side, they will say, sir, best of the service, this and that. And when it comes to the back end, they say, chalta hai yaar, isko kisi tarike se chalao aur kaam aage karo. You know what? Your employees note that. Your employees see that you are not serious about your customers at the back end. And that is where the problem starts happening. So you define, as a business owner, define your culture of what your employees are going to talk to them and how are they going to talk to them. Because if they catch this attitude of yours of chalta hai piche se, doesn't work, right? You need to say, behind the customer, you need to say that for me, customer is the priority. For me, customer is the king. You need to do everything so that I don't need to get a call next time on the smallest of the service issues. If the employees see this, they will reflect. Many of you would have known the Amazon's persistence with customers. For them, customer is everything. Even if at times they say something wrong, and they simply block the sellers with certain number of feedbacks received from a customer. There's so much about customer service. I'm not saying you're going to go to that depths, or any customer will go to that depths, but you still need to take care of the basics about this. Very, very critical. You only will bring that culture in your systems. That's something which is very, very important. Number 2, when it comes to culture, okay, train your employees how to deliver the great service. Follow-up activities to maintain high level of service is something which is very, very critical. Concrete service goals, targeting satisfaction rates and measuring their progress is very, very important. And these progresses, as I said, could be in the response times, could be in the delivery times, could be in the communication, the way you are communicating with them. A lot of it can actually be seen. And here, when it comes to culture of service, I want to talk about Apple's way of talking to customers. Okay, I actually found this Apple's service excellence program. They actually made Apple as the service excellence bit. And if you see how they perform it, when they say A in Apple, it says, when they say A, approach customers with a personalized warm welcome. That's if you go to an Apple store internationally. India, we don't really get those kind of Apple stores, but internationally, you go there, you will find that. Okay, approach customers with a personalized warm welcome. P, probe politely to understand all the customer's need. Okay, second P is present a solution for the customer to take home today. Okay, L, listen for and resolve any issues or concerns they may have. And E is end with a fond farewell and an invitation to return. Okay, this could be as simple for a store of Apple, which they look at, but you can definitely take these excerpts and see how you can implement each one of them. So it rightly starts from approaching them in the right manner, probing, look, what are the customer's needs, to understand and answer some of the objections which they may have, understanding their challenges, and then have a wonderful delivery experience, right? There are a lot of things I'm an Apple fan. There are a lot of things to learn from Apple. This is definitely one of them which you can adopt, right? Some examples. There are employees, and I'm still talking about culture, the employees who go out of their way to cheer up a customer. Look for these employees in your team member. Okay, keep an eye out for customers who aren't having the best day. Now, by the way, there are always these customers who come up to us. We know that they are not having the best day. Their shipment has been messed up for some reason, and these are the people whom, if you win their heart that day, they will be your fans forever. I've seen people, the toughest of the customers, having the worst of the days, with great customer service, have been converted to lifelong customers. That's what has happened. So you need to see that. But what you need to do now, a lot of you, frankly, your employees are interacting with the people. Many of you must be doing it directly with yourself, but many of you, your employees and team members, could be doing that. So you need to involve your employees in this whole process. Take shares from them and make customer service a regular discussion point. Why I'm saying this is, if you set your customer service thing within the next 1 week, your benchmarks, it doesn't just end there and not looking at the customer service benchmarks the next year in 2023. No, you will have to make it a regular customer point on how you can do that, right? And you also need to look at the employees who take time to find the perfect service or perfect fit for the customers. Now, see, I've given you 2 examples of how employees can actually make a difference, right? Customers do notice how you went out of their way to help them. And that is what you need to find in your employees as well, right? To deliver an impeccable service, customer service, you need to completely commit to it. So that's number 2, setting up of a culture of service. Now that is what very, very important. The third bit in eye care is actually awareness. Okay, what do you really mean by awareness? What do we need to be aware of? Let's talk about it. When I say awareness, we again switch to customer. So from the ideal service, we set the benchmarks, we got to culture, which is internal. Now we get external again, awareness. Are you aware of who your customers are really? At times, we don't even know who are our top 80% of the customers. We say anybody will do. Doesn't work like that, right? Who your customers exactly are. And when I say who, where are you getting 80% of the business? What are the 4 or 5 categories you're getting 80% of the business? You need to look at that. And you then also need to look at what are the customers' needs specifically. I already spoke about the Apple way. And the first thing they do is to check the Apple, what the customers need, their challenges and their needs. Now, that is something which is very, very critical. What you need to do in terms of the awareness is get to know the customer's base and divide them into smaller groups based on the common needs. As I said, 80% of the people, you need to look at 80% of your business coming from what all categories, but then it is not a consolidated group of categories. I'm talking about within that 80%, there will be 3 or 4 or 5 different categories of people. You need to have smaller groups, and maybe their service requirements are different. Let's talk about a big retailer. Okay, let's talk about a very big retailer. Their requirements may be completely different. We talk about a boutique, right? Boutique requirement, their requirement and service delivery could be very different. You're talking about a premium customer who will give you a $200 per product, right? Their customer service requirements will be completely different. So you need to first divide them into smaller groups, and based on their common needs, define your customers, right? Along with that, once you gather these answers, see how you can develop your better service. And this is something which you're going to use even this workshop, which you're going to do next week related to customer service, right? You need to see when you're setting the benchmarks, keep very clearly 3 or 4 of these type of customers and define benchmarks separately for them. When you know your customers, you know you can treat them the way they need to be treated. But if you don't know them, if you make a general strategy, there is nothing in customer service a general customer strategy. Okay, you will have to be very, very focused on a very specific customer centric strategy. And let me tell you, it is also not just the first impression when it comes to customers. It is also the last impression where you leave them with is also very, very critical. And let me tell you, the last impression is not till the time you have delivered the stuff. The last impression is you've gone back to them and asked for their feedback. Now, that is where the last bit is. Many of us still don't do that kind of a thing. So you need to make sure that you're doing this, right? Let me tell you, the customers have become so demanding, and we're talking about the last expressions. Do you know that most of your repeat customers, they cannot expect even a 0.01% of a laxity? You know, they are the ones, unko 99.9% bhi nahi chalta hai. They say that we've been your customers for 10 years. We expect more than 100%. And I know many of you already do that, right? So you need to make sure that you are delivering the best customer service to these people. So this is about awareness. Let's see some examples. Okay, you need to meet your customers where they are, right? When it comes to your demos or when it comes to your samples, these days we know how so many of us instantly change the style of interacting with the customers. We need to send them better information. We need to prepare better catalogs for these people. Earlier, a lot of them were coming here. You were sitting them in the offices, and then you were doing all of the action which needed to be done. The past 2 years have made sure that you change the way you interact with them. But the ones who have actually found a way to interact even in the online mode swiftly are the people who have actually got the edge in customer service. So you need to adapt how these people want it to be done, right? Are you even doing things at the time they are? I have seen people doing calls at 2 in the night as well, because the customer only had the time available at that time. Well, you need to do that. You can't just be guiding that I'm going to do calls in only daytime. No, it doesn't work. We all know that. And I know many of you are already making sure that which is happening. Now, help those in time of need. Now, that is where, as I said, you can actually win a lot of customers. We usually don't deliver. I'm giving an example. Okay, somebody, a local shop says we usually don't deliver, but we'll do so in case of a dire need. That's something which happened. And you can also make sure that some people who are in a real need, okay, you make sure that you go out of your way to deliver that. They will be your fans forever. These are some of the ways to winning fans. That's something which is important. And by the way, there is no such thing as bad customer. We all are very, very, we always say that, okay, this is such a bad customer. Yeah, there is no such customer as a bad customer. Only situations are bad. And that's your opportunity to make the most of it. Understand the situation and don't look at the customer behavior for once. Look at what kind of situation they are in. Be in their shoes and see, if I was him or her, what would have been my reaction to this. I have an answerability. I had to get this stuff. It all has to go onto shelves within the next 10 days. And now it is not happening because of XYZ reasons. Understand my situation. And once you do that, you will realize that you will be able to handle these customers much, much better. Okay. So this is the third thing. Be aware about customers. Be there where they are. There are no such customers as bad customers. Understand the situations. And after this, we talk about the fourth thing, R, which is the responsiveness. Okay. What do you mean by responsiveness? Uh, this again goes internal. Okay. Now we're moving external to external, right? The first one was ideal service. We moved to culture. We then moved to our awareness. Now we talk about our responsiveness. How much are we willing to meet the customer's needs, right? Uh, Frankly, when I say attentiveness, it extends the concept of attentiveness when we say it, when we talk about being responsive, right? Now, that is something which is, again, very, very important. People need to say that, they made me feel cared for. I felt that they were on my side. If they feel that, they will be with you forever. It should not be that you get defensive about things when certainly some things were not really happening, right? They need to feel that whatever they are doing, you being with your actions, you are on their side. Be great listeners, by the way. That is something which shows that you are with them. Show empathy in whatever you do. Along with that, you also need to see when you're talking to them and they are feeling bad, or they are trying to say something. If you're not understanding, paraphrase if you need to, right? See if you've actually heard them properly, and being a listener, which is also very, very critical. A good listener, showing empathy, paraphrasing, and generating likelihood, so that the customers can like you, they like you. There is a technique which is called the mirroring technique. Okay. Mirroring technique is in general sense, when you're talking to these people, if you mirror certain factors in their body language and the tonality of speaking, don't ever mirror their accent. But if you mirror certain things, they start liking you in a way that's a subconscious liking, and with that you can actually be on their side. That's again a wonderful way to present, right? Frankly, we know that the biggest of the challenges have been articulated, have been handled by a great customer service, right? We've already spoken about that the customer isn't the problem. The bad customer isn't the problem. The situation is the problem. So let's see some of the examples of when we say being responsive. Okay. This is where we talk about that it is okay to apologize and say that we are sorry that you are facing that an issue. A lot of times we become very, very defensive. We shouldn't do that, right? Make it up to the customer how we can. Is there a way that we can reverse the error if it happened? And at times, people go up to the lengths of offering a discount instead, right? Yes, this may work at times, the offering of discount, but this will not work every time. That is not your solution. Offering your discount is not the solution every time. You need to make sure that you are preempting the situation and making sure that every single thing is taken care before that error happens. But even if it does, don't be defensive. See how you can correct it. And it's okay to apologize. A customer error, by the way, and that at times customers make an error as well, right? And many of us, what we do, we make sure we tell the customer that it was your error. Okay. I would say a customer error is a great opportunity to win their heart. So be responsive. Now, this is where you need to be very, very critical. Okay. I'll give you an example. We have a boutique hotel here in Gurgaon, and these people, so a senior corporate executive from Mumbai, used to come to this hotel quite a bit. And one of these days, he left the charger, okay, in the hotel, his laptop charger, and he reached Mumbai. Okay, he immediately called and said, "I have left my charger. I want some help there." You know what these guys did? They knew a way that even if they will actually courier the charger from today, it will reach them tomorrow. You know what they did? There is a logistic service which you can leave the stuff at the airport. It goes with the same flight, and it can be picked up from the airport on the other side, on the flight at the other side. There's a service like this as well. They made sure that they did that. They sent their person to the airport, got that booked, tell that person to have it picked. Within the next 4 hours, with the first flight, the charger was back with that customer. They did not charge anything to that customer. There was no need to, because that customer, because of that service, became a lifetime customer for them. That is what you need to see. See a customer error. Do not really tell them that it was error until and unless it is causing huge chunks of money, but make sure that can you convert it into an opportunity to win their hearts. That is something which is important. The last bit in the whole process, and we are well on our time, we will be done within the next 5 to 7 minutes. The last bit in terms of the I care model is the empowerment. Okay, E is for empowerment. This is, again, I will switch back to the team people, to the team. Empowerment is all internal. Are your employees empowered enough to take action? At times I've seen this a lot happening. You know what? We'll talk to our boss and come back to you, sir. Right? We are not authorized to do all of these things, sir. Be very clear what your employees can do. They should be able to do something, and they should not be helpless in not answering the customers, right? Why this is important? So that they can take necessary steps to provide a great service. This empowering them is all about great service, right? Owners are reluctant to give the people power. If dealt properly, it really, really can help you. Look at your vision of providing a great service, and empowering your employees is one such way of delivering that great service. We've already kind of established that, right? Don't let your team feel that you don't care. Care the employees and care the customers behind the customers. As I said earlier, you need to empower them, and they will make sure that they deliver, right? Train your team for good customer service experience. Let them feel it is very, very critical, right? And I've already said that you need to explore customer service ideas with your team. They are the front line. They give some amazing insights. Now, that's the best part. They know how the customer behaves. They know how the customer is going to react to it. So see if you can explore certain ideas. Don't make your strategies just within yourself. They will be able to give you a lot of ideas. And plan a competition for best service. I already said that. Have a competition, have customer satisfaction surveys, have employee satisfaction surveys, to make sure to define that we are delivering all of this. So this is the I care model, which you all need to make sure that you get going with your business. But before I actually talk about or finish my session, I want to talk about one thing, which, because our service is left at this level and it doesn't go beyond. And this particular thing is what we call it as, we want your feedback, right? Many of us are afraid of going to the customer and asking for a feedback. Now, this is a recipe for disaster for many of us, because if there was a problem with the customer and he hasn't said it, don't think that no news is good news, because there are customers who will not say it, but they will never come back to you. Okay. So don't be afraid of the feedback. Welcome the feedback. You need to make sure that you address it. Not only welcome the feedback, but you need to address it. Don't be defensive. Treat it like a learning experience. That's okay, because you need to look at your customers' lifetime value rather than a one single transaction, right? And you will see you will win customers for the lifetime, right? And with this, we finish our session for today. It's exactly 4:59. And but before that, I would like to ask you one thing. No such training is complete without clearly defining that what am I going to do today? So tell me, now it's the time for you to put it on the chat box, is what is one thing which is on top of your mind, which you are going to do going forward from this particular session. Tell me, write it down for me, please, on the chat box, one thing which you are going to implement in your business with regards to some of the topics, some of the things which we have discussed today. Okay. So Anshul says, do a group discussion at work for more customer service ideas. Dolly says, train our employees better on customer service. Good to hear that. Good to hear that. I'm going to wait for a few more seconds, because I expect people to write a couple of sentences here maybe, but I would request you all to please do type in. Now, this also has a science behind. If you write it, I know that you may actually would want to go for it. Okay, because there are a lot of ideas which may be running around in your mind. I see Tanya says, get feedback from customers and train employees. Okay, Ikchot says better processes. Dhruv says implement a CRM. Wonderful, great ideas. And my request is, this is the start of the year, start planning your customer service. Buying agents are all about customer service, so make sure that you do that. Make team aware of great customer service experience, Sarika says. With this, I would like to thank you all for giving us an opportunity, giving me an opportunity to talk to you all. And I would like to now stop share and hand it over back to Aanchal. Aanchal, over to you.
Thank you, Gagan. As always, a fantastic session. Absolutely great, and loved every bit that you said. Everything that you shared today was extremely relevant. Relevant in terms of internal customers, external customers, because at the end of the day, none of us are going to do any service if we are not happy with our internal customers and if they are not happy with us, which is more important. So I think very well put, and feedback clearly, and it amazes me that this is just one of the years when I finally decided, bahut ho gaya, we're not meeting our customers. Let me at least do feedback sessions with them.
All right. Okay.
So my December, January is going in feedback sessions. But
Wonderful.
this has been lying on my to-do on my desktop since about a year and a half to formulate a feedback form with ideas there, but
Yeah.
no form formulated yet. So
Okay.
yeah, that is going to be my to-do also, to formulate and finish that form off now.
Super.
So
Great.
absolutely, absolutely amazing. And I would open the floor to all the people here today, all of our members who would like to ask any questions in terms of what Gagan has shared or questions of what Gagan has not shared. And you may want some, snippets of his experience and expertise on this. So any questions, anyone?
But I could also say that if you have any realizations from today, you can also speak about that. It'll be also nice to hear that you are going to do certain things, right?
Yeah,
So either both are welcome. Yes.
absolutely. Any feedback? You want to pat in the back to Gagan? More than welcome.
I think,
Okay.
Gagan, you've done a fantastic one, and it's been a pleasure going through and hearing all of it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Twal. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and basically, as far as my company goes, we just have to, everything needs honing and improving as always. I think it's a perpetual battle. In our trade, there is an employee battle, there is a customer battle, there is a constant battle. And of course, attending a session like this does, certain things, you're reminded of things, you know what I mean? That which have been lying on the back burner, or which suddenly you think, oh, I had to do that.
Right.
But in general, it's a refresher, and it's an excellent thing, basically.
Thank you.
And
Thank
there
you
are
so much.
some areas that we've started working on even more in a different manner. So let's see.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for the feedback. Thank you.
So, Gagan, we have a few more on the chat box. Sakshi's telling you Gagan sessions are always amazing, and I would totally agree with her. Good to learn new things from him. Then Dolly saying, thanks, it's very enlightening and reminding us of what we should do continuously. And then Ganesh is saying, great session, Gagan. And we can see you have a lot of work in understanding the trade. And I think he means you've done a lot of work in understanding the trade and making a program covering all relevant points. Very true, Ganesh. Gagan's been really working hard to make sure this was very focused to buying agents. So that was the idea, that we didn't want to do generic sessions. We wanted to do sessions that were just for us, because we've had too much of Gyan during COVID. We didn't want general Gyan. So we said we want specific Gyan now. So this is great. Absolutely great.
By
Thank
the
you,
way,
Gagan.
I can talk about a lot of effort goes from Anchal's side, where she looks at our presentation and she gives us these critical cues about how can we further make it more relevant for all of us. So yes, all thank you, Anchal, for doing that to our presentations. That's something which I
Been
see is
my
very, very
pleasure.
relevant.
It's
Yeah.
totally been my pleasure. This entire series has been amazing, I must say, Gagan. It was every bit worth the time, effort, and everything done. So I think everybody's taken away a lot from it, whether it was about marketing or it was about social media marketing or today customer service. So thank you so much for bringing all these important snippets of information and reminders, as very well put down by Dolly. These are reminders that we need. Obviously, we are all doing it. And somewhere I just said it's been lying on my desktop for 1.5 years. Now is execution time. So, when somebody reminds us from outside, we start doing it inside.
Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you so much. And I would thank Sonal again for everything that he's done for us, this entire series and session that has been started off. I would like to invite Tanya. Tanya would like to come up and say a couple of words if you're available on the call.
I
Can
think,
you?
yeah, she just
She is
left.
there, but she's, I think, traveling somewhere. So she's not able to join in like with video and audio types. So I think she can't hear me. Been on the road today. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone. Thank you all the members for joining us today. Lot of people missed this out. So we'll be putting this up on our YouTube channel and for everybody to review. If you have more ideas for us, we're always welcoming ideas. We're always welcoming people to come up with important topics that we all want learning on or reminders on if it's not really learning. So thank you all for joining us today. We've wrapped up the session in amazing time. All thanks to Gagan. He's super quick and super precise in his delivery of speech.
Thank you.
Thank you all. And we look forward to connecting a lot more in this new year.
Absolutely. Thank you very
Take
much,
care.
everyone.
Take
Looking
care.
forward. All right. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye.